Accursed Farms. This is Ross, who's pushing the Stop Killing Games campaign. He took to X to let everyone know that there is some interesting pushback coming from a lobbyist group. And we're going to go through all the information on this lobbyist group because you guys are going to have your minds. You ready to have your minds blown on this? It's crazy what I found out. He said, if anyone doubts how powerful the EU initiative can be, Video Games Europe, an industry lobbying group, has unsurprisingly come out against Stop Killing Games. The arguments against allowing you to keep your purchase are flimsy. I'll have a video on it in a day or two. And this links to the statement on Stop Killing Games from Video Games Europe. And this statement is insane. Like, the people behind putting this statement together are all shills or former executives in the gaming industry with direct industry ties to Take-Two Interactive, Electronic Arts, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. All the people that are put together on this group all work for these massive corporations that do not want to see this be successful. So keep that in mind when you read what they said. Statement on Stop Killing Games. And this comes to us as of 7/4. They do it backwards there. So this is July 4th, 2025. We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is to no longer commercially be viable. We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but when it does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. Private servers are not always a viable alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content would not exist and would leave rights holders liable. This is it's for your, we're from the government, we're here for your protection speech. It's for your safety. You guys need us. That's why you can't put this into effect. In addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. Bullshit. No, it wouldn't. This is a straight up lie, propaganda push to make you think that this is something that is not viable at all. If you are to build a game designed from ground up to be online only, all Ross or anyone else is asking for is to allow, if you guys are taking your service down, to allow people to run the game themselves and not have to worry about your copyright or IP or anything of that, because you sold the game. People should still be allowed to play it and take it into their own rights. There's no issues with any of this. The problem is they don't want to concede power to the players. They want to make sure they have all the control. We welcome the opportunity to discuss our position with policymakers. So this is what they're going to do, by the way. These people are lobbyists for the biggest of biggest AAA and game console manufacturers out there on the planet. And they're going to be talking to policymakers who have no idea what video games even are. And they are going to educate them on that and tell them how it is and wine and dine them while they're doing it to let them know, hey, that's a good old boy network. We can't do what this is saying. It's impossible. It's going to destroy us. We can't possibly let this law go into effect. It would ruin us. And those who have led the European Citizens Initiative in the coming months. So what did I find out about this? Our team, Video Games Europe, Simon Little, the CEO. You guys want to know what this guy has done? Here you go. Ready? Simon Little Chief Executive Officer, Video Games Europe, from 2009 to present. He's been the CEO of this lobbyist group for over 16 and a half years. He's approaching 2 decades of doing this for European awareness and minor protection. I bet, bro. Yep. What else have you done? Let's keep looking. Board of Directors, Vice Chair, International Age Rating Coalition. Oh, who's behind that again? Who are the people that do these? Oh, what's this one? Group Business Affairs Director, Take Two International SA, from 2003 to 2008. This guy worked at Take Two before moving on to the Peggy board and then moving on to Video Games Europe. So you can't tell me that this guy is not in the back pocket of these organizations that are pushing this forward. We also have, let me see, where did I put it? Not that. Where is it? There we go. All the tabs look the same. We also scroll a little bit further down. We see, I mean, all these people, by the way, all of them, one way or another, are somewhere connected to the AAA games industry in their past experience. And it's got to make you ask questions as to how did they get their position in what they do. This one, Jenny Ching Wee Lee, communication, campaign, and content strategist. Ready for this one? Manager communications and marketing for Video Games Europe for almost 2 years now. UE policy communications campaigns, some events, areas of focus, diversity, inclusion, equity, and accessibility. I know you're all shocked for the DEI being injected here. I know. Education and skills, responsible gameplay, hashtag seize the controls. What about gaming requires responsible gameplay? Industry key facts and data. Where else have you worked, Jenny? Let's see. Oh, women in games. Oh, okay. So an activist group for nearly 5 years. You were an ambassador for an activist group for 5 years. Women in Games is a not-for-profit organization that seeks a games industry, culture, and community free of gender discrimination. Well, I mean, you call yourselves Women in Games, and then you say you want to be free of gender discrimination. You're literally discriminating in your own name. It's by separating. Where full equity of opportunity, treatment, and conditions empowers all women, well, just women, to achieve their full potential. It works in partnership with individual ambassadors and companies to push their activist agenda forward. I might not say that, but anyways, what else did she do? Let's keep going. Marketing executives, digital, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, senior marketing. Let's keep going. What else? Keep going deeper and deeper. I'm sure there's got to be something. Oh, what's this? She worked for the United Nations? Huh. And the UNICEF? That's curious. So we have a World Economic Forum person who is working as an executive for the European Games Union. Oh, okay. Sure. I'm sure there's nothing to see here, guys. Nothing, no problems to be found. And we have just a quick update here from Asmongold because he covered this as well. And I have not seen this video yet. And I'm very curious to hear what he has to say about it.
Apparently, the video games, commission group, a lobbying group for Video Games Europe has made a statement about stop killing games. That's right. We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but when it does happen, the industry ensures players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with the local consumer protection laws. Well, so it's about that last sentence that we really need to talk about, though, right?
Mhm.
So you're complying with the local consumer protection laws. Well, we've got a few new ones for you to comply to.
Thank you. That was the point that I've been trying to get to with all of this. These laws are in place because you guys have overstepped your bound historically in the past, previously. Now we have new things happening and new reasons of you taking advantage of your own consumers and customer base. And new laws need to be established to prevent you from completely ruining people or straight up stealing from them, selling them a bill of goods and not having a game there for them. That is a massive issue. And this is something that you think, if you actually cared about the gamer, you would be behind. Even if you were a company, you'd be like, yeah, makes sense. We want to make our games playable. We're selling a game to someone. We want to make it playable forever for them and at least accessible. So if we take our servers down, that there's a way for them to be able to continue playing it. It's really not asking much. They're acting like this is like some massive deal breaker that's going to completely destroy the companies. And it's like this literally like a flipping a switch. Like, yeah, sure, let's just make it open for everyone. We're not going to have to. We're not going to shut our servers down and just lock it away from people. It's really that simple.
About that. How about we just have a couple more of those, and you're going to comply with those as well. And also, you're gonna follow. You're gonna jump. Yeah, bro. Like if we say jump, the government says jump. You say how high.
Yep.
You don't make the rules. The people make the rules. And as soon as the people realize that, stuff like this immediately evaporates.
So I want to be clear with this because Video Games Europe is not a government entity, but they try to act like they have some sort of jurisdiction and power. They don't. Then they have no power here. They're just like acting like they are speaking for the companies, like, oh, they are the counter to the issue. But in reality, they don't have any power here. If the gamers are going to the government saying, we need this to be done, this needs to be a rule for customer protection, these people, the Video Games Europe, they are not influencers. They are not a government entity. They cannot write consumer protection laws. They can't do any of that shit. All they can do is cry on the internet that people are speaking to the government saying we need a fix for this problem.
That's it. It's about fucking time. Yes. And we'll win. Yes. Do not ever, ever, ever think that you can't overpower these parasites. You easily can. The only reason why we don't is because people are stupid. That's the reason why. It won't change unless people stop buying it. Of course it will. Of course it will. You just make it against the law. Problem solved. That's it. You just change a regulation. If anyone doubts how powerful the EU initiative can be, Video Games Europe, an industry lobbying group, has unsurprisingly come out against Stop Killing Games.
And by the way, I think deep down we all knew something like this was going to happen, where lobbyists would come out of the woodwork pretending that they're not representing these game companies, pretending they're like a totally independent resource, being like, oh, hey, we don't represent them, but this is impossible for them to do, guys. Come on.
Arguments against killing, allowing you to keep your purchase are flimsy. I'll have a video on it in a day or two. Yep, and so will everybody else. The thing is that these lobbying groups are really important, but what matters even more than lobbying groups is votes, because different people that take money and are influenced by these lobbying groups, if enough people complain about it, you can make it go away. People are complacent. Yeah, these people like money, but they care more about power. And so, yeah, they know how effective it's going to be. That's not the full statement. There's more. Really? All right. So this is the full statement that they made. Video Games Europe said in their statement, we appreciate the passion of our community. The decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted, never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online service is no longer commercially viable. Well, that's not even what people are asking for. People are not asking for you to provide online services forever.
Right. We're just asking for you to allow us to to be able to keep playing the game. If you're shutting your service down at your end, that's perfectly fine, but we should still be able to access it.
People are asking for you to allow other people to provide online services in absence of you providing them yourself.
Which literally is zero work for the company. They just don't want to lose power for it.
Nobody says that you have to run the server forever. They're twisting it again. It's included in the petition.
They want to make it sound like that's what it is, because that is such a ridiculous request that if they can build that straw man up, they can knock it down and make it seem like everyone else is crazy. It's like, that's not what we're asking. That would be insane.
It's an alternative or some sort of other solution. That's not the only way of doing it. They watch Pirate Software's video. Read the next paragraph. We understand it can be disappointing for players, but when that does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with the local consumer protection laws. Well, we're going to change the laws, and so that's it. And hopefully, at least, right? That's the goal. Private servers are not always a viable option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data, remove illegal content, and to combat unsafe community.
That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. Because if you're going to be playing a PvP on private servers or your own servers with other people, you're not going to be giving your credit card to them. Like that's combat an unsafe community. Combat an unsafe community, bro. We are not asking you to provide a safe community to people. That is not a request from people. Where is that even coming from?
The content would not exist and would have rights holders liable. No, it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. There's no proof of that. What are you referencing? What court case has happened in the past where that would actually hold true? That's insane. Especially if you could reference, hey, it's not on us because they're running it on their own servers because we are following the law. So no, by default, we cannot be held liable for this because we're following the law. Do they think people are retarded?
No, it wouldn't. Absolutely not. You don't have to regulate the entire internet. You don't have to do that. It's not your stuff. It's not your issue. If somebody else takes your content and they turn it into something else, you're not legally liable for that. And also, if you are, then maybe we should solve that problem too. So let me get this straight. Because of one stupid rule, we have to have another stupid rule. Hey, I've got a solution. Why don't we stop making stupid rules? How about that? How about we stop creating this apparatus of retardation that everybody has to fucking play gymnastics around because a bunch of lawyers want to make money? It's ridiculous. What a ridiculous idea. And in addition, many titles are designed from the ground up to be online only. In effect, these proposals would curtail developer choice by making these video games prohibitively expensive to create. No, it's just that you have to provide an option for players to be able to play peer-to-peer.
Exactly. I see Timebound Howler who said, honestly, this was my first day hearing of the Europe Gaming Group or whatever. I looked at their manifesto page, not the manifesto they have, and it's weird. They keep mentioning girls. The only thing I saw on that was what they do. Since 1998, Video Games Europe has ensured that the voice of responsible games ecosystem is heard and understood. Its mission is to support and celebrate the sector's creative and economic potential, and to ensure that players around the world enjoy the benefits of great video game playing experiences. Europe's video game sector is worth $25.7 billion, and 53% of Europeans are video games player. We publish who died and put these people in charge of all this? I sure didn't. I didn't agree to them being the arbiter of truth for any of this. They aren't a government entity. They don't have any power for any of this. Who are they and why are they here? I didn't ask for this. I don't know anyone that did. To serve Europe's game ecosystem by representing interests of Europe and the world's most successful, creative, and most innovative game publishers and developers, and ensure that the diversity, skill, and creative talent can continue to grow in Europe. This is weird. Through our active engagement and dialogue with policymakers, we help contribute to the development of smart regulations and policies and innovative projects that unleash the full potential of video games to enrich the daily lives of millions of Europeans. Bullshit. This is your opinion. This is an opinion, and you are not a government entity. You don't have any jurisdiction for any of this shit. So, anyways, I don't see their manifesto about girls and stuff, but I really don't want to see that because that would be creepy. But yeah, that is Video Games Europe in a nutshell, guys. And my goodness, of course they're here and they're trying their best to pretend like there's some sort of arbiter of truth and face of authority in gaming. And they're not. And hopefully they don't have any sway with this at all. Darksis says, Smash, I have a theory. They want to shut down their old games because they know their new games are shittier than their old games. I don't really think that is like isolated to you. I've said that multiple times. That's kind of one of my talking points where I'm like, the talent they have now can't even hold a candle to the older games. So they're trying to go all digital so that when it gets even shittier in the future, they have all the control and power and pricing power when everything's digital. And it's like, nope, you need to be better than the games they had before. And we want physical games to be there. But yeah, with that all being said, I will leave that there.